Your brain is lying to you. Right now, it might be telling you that you are in immediate danger, that a catastrophe is looming, or that you need to run. But if you look around, the walls are stationary, the temperature is stable, and no predator is hunting you. This disconnect between your body's alarm system and physical reality is where anxiety thrives. Grounding is not just a buzzword for relaxation. It is the biological override switch for a brain that has lost its place in time. To understand grounding, you have to understand the hardware it fixes. When you panic, your amygdala, the brain's ancient threat detection center, hijacks the system. It screams fire in a crowded theater. Simultaneously, the prefrontal cortex, which handles logic and time perception, goes offline. You literally lose the ability to know that the trauma is in the past or that the fear is hypothetical. You aren't just worried, you are chemically flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. Talk therapy often fails in this specific moment because you cannot reason with a part of the brain that doesn't speak language. You need a physical signal to reboot the system. Grounding works by forcing the brain to process raw data from the present moment. Your amygdala cannot sustain a high-alert alarm state if your sensory cortex is busy processing the texture of a brick wall or the temperature of ice water. It is a resource allocation game. By flooding the brain with neutral, tangible information from the here and now, you starve the anxiety loop of its power. The brain has to choose: keep hallucinating a future disaster or figure out why your hands are cold right now. It usually chooses the physical sensation, and that microsecond switch is enough to bring the prefrontal cortex back online. You have likely heard of the 5-4-3-2-1 method, but most people do it wrong. They rush through the list like a chore. The magic is not in the counting. It is in the specificity. Acknowledge 5 things you see, but don't just say chair. Notice the fraying fabric on the armrest. Find 4 things to touch and actually feel the ridges on your denim jeans. Listen for 3 distinct sounds, like the hum of the fridge, a distant car, or your own breath. Smell 2 things and taste 1. The depth of detail is what anchors you. If you just recite a list, you are staying in your head. The goal is to get out of your head and into your senses. Sometimes the anxiety is too loud for counting colors. In high-stakes panic, you need a somatic shock. This is where temperature becomes your best ally. Plunging your face into a bowl of ice water triggers the mammalian diving reflex, which instantly slows your heart rate and redirects blood flow to critical organs. It is a physiological brake pedal that works faster than any thought. If ice isn't available, push your heels into the floor until your leg muscles shake, or bite into a lemon. Strong, non-damaging physical sensations cut through dissociation like a knife, pulling you back to your body whether you want to be there or not. Physical sensation isn't the only path. You can also ground yourself by forcing the logical brain to work. This isn't about analyzing your feelings. It is about objective data. Pick a category, like breeds of dogs or items in a grocery store, and name as many as you can in alphabetical order. Count backward from 100 by sevens. These tasks require the prefrontal cortex to fire. You literally cannot do mental math and maintain a full fight or flight response simultaneously. The cognitive load forces the emotional centers to recede. It feels like doing homework while the house is burning, but that focus puts the fire out. There is a massive misconception that grounding is just distraction. It isn't. Distraction is tuning out. Grounding is tuning in. When you binge watch a show or scroll social media to avoid anxiety, you are dissociating further from reality. You are leaving the building. Grounding is the opposite. It is planting your feet firmly on the floor and saying, I am here. I am safe. This is real. Distraction delays the panic, often making it worse when it returns. Grounding confronts the panic with the safety of the present moment. One is an escape hatch. The other is an anchor. We need to talk about what grounding won't do. It will not cure your trauma. It will not solve the problem that caused the stress in the first place. In 2026, social media is full of nervous system regulation influencers promising that breathing exercises will fix a toxic workplace or a history of abuse. That is a lie. Grounding is a triage tool. It stops the bleeding so you can get to surgery. It brings you back to a state where you can process emotions, but it is not the processing itself. If you use grounding to constantly mute your valid reactions to a bad environment, you are just sedating yourself. As somatic therapy gains popularity, the red flags are multiplying. Be wary of any practitioner who tells you that you must be grounded 100% of the time. A healthy nervous system oscillates. It goes up for challenges and down for rest. Being flat and calm all the time isn't health, it's robotism. Also, watch out for one-size-fits-all techniques. For some trauma survivors, focusing on the breath induces panic rather than reducing it. If a technique makes you feel worse and a coach tells you to push through, run. Your body's rejection of a method is data, not failure. The science beneath all of this is best explained by Polyvagal Theory. Dr. Stephen Porges identified that our nervous system has a hierarchy. At the bottom is shutdown, consisting of collapse and numbness. In the middle is sympathetic mobilization, or fight or flight. At the top is the ventral vagal state, representing social engagement and safety. Grounding is the latter. It helps you climb out of the basement of shutdown, or down from the frantic energy of mobilization. You cannot force yourself into that top state of safety with positive thoughts. You have to inhabit the body first. You have to show your nerves, physically, that the war is over. The final piece of the puzzle is neuroplasticity. If you only practice grounding when you are in a full-blown crisis, it probably won't work well. It's like trying to learn karate while someone is already attacking you. You have to practice when you are calm. By grounding yourself in small moments, like feeling the water on your hands while washing dishes, or noticing the texture of your steering wheel, you are paving the neural highway. You are making the path to the prefrontal cortex wider and faster. So when the panic does hit, your brain knows exactly where to go. Sensory grounding is the art of coming back. It is the recognition that while your thoughts may travel to catastrophic futures or painful pasts, your body is always right here. It is a skill that demands practice, honesty, and a willingness to feel the texture of the present moment, even when it's uncomfortable. If you found value in this breakdown and want to explore more tools for mental resilience, subscribing helps us keep researching and sharing these insights. Take a deep breath, feel the ground under your feet, and I'll see you in the next one.